My perspective, I mean, Dave Chaston, Eddie King was from around the area. I remember as a younger drummer going, and I lived in Peoria Heights in the mid '90s. Going to the Steel or the Silver Dollar in the Heights.
Yeah.
Their
Oh yeah.
Wednesday night open blues jam was like incredible. I mean, how you Dave Boomer, Mike Means. They're just a ton of musicians in the area. I remember seeing the River City Soul Review. I mean, like Rusty Hall, and then like I remember Dave Scott Jr. with Easy Money. See, I tell you what, I was with in the mid '90s. A lot of Fade to Blue, me and Mike Stumpo, Yoakum, and we had a couple harmonica players. But we played at Champs. We got lucky enough to play there downtown Peoria like once a month for almost a year, like 8 months,
Right.
9 months. So we had for 8 or 9 months in a row, we had one show a month, 4 o'clock bar. And when like other bands played elsewhere, the musicians, when they got done, a lot of times they'd come down to Champs, and that's how I met Mo Baker. That's how I met Alvin Butler, Rusty Hall. Just a bunch of Jeff Schmidgall. I met a bunch of guys that used to come down there, and I've actually got lucky enough. To play with somebody. I was horrible back then. We were an okay band. I was okay. We were okay, but we got in the right place at the right time, and I think it actually. We met other players and opened up our experiences, and it helped me out as a drummer. Only seen him play a couple times. Heard a lot when I was growing up about how good a drummer my dad was, and this and that. He passed. I was freshman in high school. We were same age, and I inherited his drums, an old Fives Butcher Block.
I remember this.
My mom had actually had a drum set at home. It was an old Rogers set, and I'd actually learned how to do the simplest quarter note 4/4 beat that she had been taking drum lessons from somebody. I don't remember. I was early high school, but she had showed me how to do that 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Even count your fill, and so then I inherited my dad's drums, and I knew AC/DC songs.
Yeah.
I knew a 4/4 beat. That was it. Insert, riff here. So anyway, I got my dad's drums and started playing. How you were already out playing, so I'd seen you play out a few times and stuff. And I for all the younger drummers out there, start early, practice early, because I didn't practice as much as I should have early on.
Right.
And it's taken me a long time to learn shit I should have known a decade ago.
Right.
And for every era that I played, I was 15. When I was 25, I should have already known shit. And then I was 35. I should have known shit when I was 25.
But you also went into the army.
Well, yeah, but I was back. And I said the first band I was in was Stumpo, Fade to Blue. And I'd been playing rock and roll, learning rock and roll. I'd never really played with anybody. And then Stumpo's like, play a shuffle. And I'm like, what the fuck is a shuffle? I don't know. I'm like 23 years old.
Right.
The fuck is a shuffle? And then he explained it to me, played a few songs, and he's like, listen what they're doing, And I started mimicking that, started practicing that, and actually learned. And like I said, Wes Simmons, that's the thing he said. Learning how to play blues was the best. Learning how to play a shuffle, learning how to, the syncopation between the kick, the snare, the ghost notes with the left hand.
Because a shuffle is kind of a rolling thing.
And you can shuffle on your kick, you can shuffle on your snare, on your hi-hat, you can do all of them, some of them. There's just a bunch of variations, There's a lot in rock and roll.
Legendary.
Well, everybody knows Dave Chaston. I said Eddie King, I talked about him earlier. Personally, some of the guys that I look up to in the area, this would be coming from a drumming standpoint with Bruce Mosier, I mean, hell,
Bruce is a man.
he's such a good drummer that he's playing bass with Joe Stam, you know.
Right, right,
right. You know, and then who they got playing? They got fucking Timmy Fires. Fucking, I mean, goddamn. That man is drum-tarded for sure. Joe's a dick, man. I don't even know him, but fuck you for having both them guys. That's
right.
I mean, you got two of the best fucking drummers in the area. So good, you got one of them playing bass. What the fuck, man? I don't even. That's awesome.
Bruce. And
what a great problem to have.
Bruce and Timmy, just great.
Both them guys are definitely guys I've looked up to. Well, I've only known Bruce for a handful of years, but I've known who Tim was for a long time. Never knew his name, but Alvin Butler was another one. It's like, man, I was like, he taught me how to be bipolar, because not only was I happy when I got home from seeing him drum, but I was also sad as fuck, because it's like, watching him play, I was so happy, and then I got home and realized I can't do any of that shit. You know?
No, that guy was stupid.
Alvin Butler
stupid, over the top.
The funk.
Oh my god! And
rhythm and blues stuff.
Oh yeah, he had such a heavy groove.
Hell, Joe Johnson's another drummer. You, dude.
Yeah.
Hell, you. Fuck. You and I were the same. No, you and I were the same age, and you had learned from a younger age and taken it more serious than I did. So by the time we were 18, you were years ahead of me on what you could do and what I could.
Right.
It took me till I was in my mid-20s to do some of the shit you were doing when we were like still in high school.
Right.
You know, because I didn't pick it up as like I should have, and I just kind of half-assed it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But, you know, so watching you, I said Joe Johnson was another one. He was awesome to watch. Eric Yarbrough.
Oh,
I remember watching Eric play Toy Box.
Monster.
He'd let me get up and I remember doing In Bloom. I'd do In Bloom and Man in the Box.
Well, do you remember Brian West from Jinx?
Yes, that guy was a beast. Yeah.
Oh, he had
the big cage and freaking, yeah. I mean, they played at Benny's when I worked there. You guys played there.
Yep.
Yeah, there was. I mean, even now there's There's so many bands now that watching Facebook, I'm always seeing bands that I'm like, I've never heard of any of these guys, and I watch it and I'm like, well, these guys are good. You know, I'm seeing that all the time, and it's like, good Lord, you know. And I'm one of the old guys now, and you know, it's like you see a band looking for a drummer, and you click on it, and it's like a bunch of 21-year-old kids, and I'm like, you know, I think to myself, you know what those 20-year-old kids like about drummers like me?
None.
Not a fucking thing, man. Oh yeah, he can play, but fuck, he's old, he's fat. Fuck.
We don't want him.
No, he doesn't. You know,
can we put him behind the screen?
Yeah, he's not gonna look it on a poster. I mean, he's gonna be the poster. So yeah. Fade to Blue is 96 probably. We played at Champs, 4:00 bar. Yeah, we got done at 3:30 in the morning. We got loaded out, back to Canton. Sun was starting to come up. The next day on Sunday, we were doing this benefit out in Lynn Lane's parking lot. This is July. It's like we were set to play at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so we get to bed at sun up, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock. We have to play at like 2 or 3 in Lynn Lane's parking lot, blacktop, middle of July. It's 100 fucking degrees. We are all on like 5 or 6 hours of sleep from the night before, already dehydrated. and then we're on a flatbed trailer.
Metal.
No cover.
Metal.
Out in the middle of a fucking blacktop parking lot at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in July. It's 100 fucking degrees. And I remember we're playing Cold Shot. Stevie Ray Vaughan. We're freaking doing the fucking, it's a nice, and I'm grooving, I'm feeling it. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, it feels like I'm getting electrocuted. And I jolted. and I caught myself, the whole the band all turned around fucking looking at me like what I'm doing. Because I mean, I went from playing blues to Metallica like a split second. And, you know, I mean, I was playing just as bad as Lars. You know, I'm telling you.
That's pretty bad.
And then fucking caught my fucking groove, and I turned around. Fucking Carl Reedy had come up with a moose cup full of fucking ice water and dumped it on me. Dumped it down my fucking back of my head and neck. I'm just fucking grooving along, and all of a sudden that ice water hits me, and I mean, like, slow motion, I'm like, you know, it fucking hit me. And I fucking doubled up on my beat, and fucking, it took me, and figured out how to get back on, and everybody turns around, and they didn't know what happened. They didn't know what he'd done. I'm like looking behind me, and they're like, you know. Then we got done with the song, and I fucking told him, I'm like, I turned around, fucking cussed Carl, you motherfucker.